What's good, YouTube? It's your main man ABD Hero back again with another video, and today we finally have the long overdue, sought after, patiently waited for Jello Ball update. We kind of got a glimpse into what's next. We're gonna go into that detail, recap some things. The whole vibe is gonna happen in this video. Let's go.
With my dude AB the Hero. Well, we getting it down in the Ball State, baby.
Hey.
AB, way to get out on the lane. Way to get out on the lane.
What do you thought about that, G?
I like that. Yeah, I told you, he's the hustler for it.
Let's go. I'm out.
Alright, so for many moons, we've seen Jello kind of inch towards the NBA in that dream, and we've all been like, we're here. It's almost happened. The pandemic, the ankle, all of these different things have kind of really slowed down what we all determined to be inevitable. At least I do. I know my dog's gonna hoop in the NBA, and it seems like we finally have a glimpse into kind of what's happening next from him, amongst some other things. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a couple clips from this video. Liangelo Ball goes sneaker shopping with Cool Kicks. It's like a complex sneaker shopping spin-off or whatever, but in this video they do a great job of just asking him a lot of questions. They shopping for shoes, but they just start firing off random questions, and I think it gives us some insight on what's happening with the Liangelo Ball situation currently. I got a couple timestamps, as you'll see. I'll link to this video in the description for you to watch the whole thing. We won't watch the whole thing here, but once you know how we always do, go to the video, show some love, let them know where you came from, all of that jazz. I'm sure you've seen it already, but in the comment section over there you'll see the timestamps and all of that jazz. Appreciate y'all subbing to the channel, hitting the notifications, hitting the like button on this video. I've been seeing a lot of people say this lately. The algorithm, you hit the like button, it drive the views up through the algorithm and all of that jazz, and that's probably true, and that's a fact though. So hit that like button, help us get through the algorithm. You see the subs, we've been growing, kind of chilling off, but I feel like the chilling off is basically due to I have not been as consistent lately, but we back on the grind, man. Y'all know how it is. All right, so let's check out the video here, and like I said, man, you can check the link in the description for this, and we'll watch some clips, and y'all know we're gonna stop and talk about it and all that jazz. Let's go.
Your experience in terms of like how was it playing with like your brothers and shit, playing with your family? Like,
Well, I know Mellow and Zo game to like a T.
yeah,
I know everything they gonna do before they do it.
I love that. Do you
So that
like?
shit help me when I'm playing with them. It makes the game easier.
I was gonna say, man, you got a lot of talent in terms of like your journey right now and how things are going with you.
Yeah, I've just been working out behind
Working
the
out.
scenes for real.
Good, man.
I've been in Compton every day.
Good, man.
So.
Getting right, right?
Yeah,
You already know. Like I said, I've been, I was about to say, waiting on the chance, right? At
I'm
this
really
point,
just waiting for real.
yeah,
Here's one thing I'll say about this, right? And I'm gonna play it back because I know I stopped it right at a critical point. But I meant to say this before we start watching this video, is that this video is like, you know how we get into that body language talk sometimes? Like, this is a video that you could study, because his tells on all of this stuff is so telling, and you can see the body language and every like main thing that folks would point to is something that you could tell that somebody is either like confident or being deceptive or excited or upset or ooh, like you could see it on him throughout this thing. Even and I don't mean like to say that he's not telling the truth about things, but I mean like there are moments where they pull out certain pairs of sneakers and they're like, do you like these? And you can see where he's like, nah, and then like you could read the language and then get some validation on whether or not. That's what I'm talking about. So if you go back and you watch this full video, I challenge you to do that. Like, go through and check and see if you can tell, like, before they clear up something. Like, even there's a point when they're like, which one of these your favorite shoes? Like, you should be able to tell which one of his favorite shoes is based on the video 5 minutes before they even asked that question. Let me go back. All right.
Like I said, I was about to say, waiting on the chance, right? At this point.
Waiting for real.
Yeah, it should have been done already.
It's gonna happen.
I already know it's gonna happen.
So I think that that's the first part, right? So he's saying, I'm hooping every day and I'm waiting on the chance, right? I think some of the conversations that I've heard people have about Liangelo is whether he still want it. Is this what he really trying to do? And I'm every day I'm in Compton hooping. I'm just waiting, right? And I think that that is in line with a lot of the stuff that I have said from you all, right? I think that just with the pandemic and all of these things and how they play themselves out, right now is just waiting until things open back up, waiting for another opportunity to play basketball, right? So last year, I believe, I heard people that we ain't seen him play in years and years and years. And so many opportunities that we probably was the summer league, the Drew leagues, all of these different things that we would have seen him play in 2020 didn't happen. So, you know, even with the him being on the G League and all that. So right now, my dog is just currently waiting, but we got more information. So don't just think that we're settling for that. I feel like I'll say that he had what would seem to be a relatively big announcement at this video here. And you know what we'll do, man? Let's get straight into that, because I think that this is also very important.
You got a couple projects coming that you want to let the fans know anything? What you working on?
I'm hoping that Drew League come.
So like, this is what I'm saying when I talk about the bilanguage stuff. So like, watch, he asked him, you got any upcoming projects? And look at Liangelo's first.
That you want to let the fans know anything? What you working on?
I'm hoping that.
So before he even started talking, he put his hand over his mouth, right? And then he started deciding, do I want to tell him this or not? I mean, sure. And then it's like, all right, I'll say.
That Drew League come correct, because I'm gonna get some players and we gonna get right now. Put on the show.
Hey, so folks have been clamoring for a long time of when we gonna see Jello hoop next. What does his game look like? Because I'll tell you, physique-wise, he look like he in some super shape right now. I don't think that we've ever seen him on the court with his body looking like his body does in this video here. So I'm excited to see what the athleticism look like, what the mobility look like, the agility, and the hoops and all of that stuff. But let's get back.
Niggas ain't seen him playing in a minute, so that's where I'm gonna go.
What you working on?
I'm hoping that Drew League come correct, because I'm gonna get some players and we gonna get right now. Put on the show. Niggas ain't seen him playing in a minute, so that's where I'm gonna go.
That's where you gonna pop
That's where I'm gonna start off at.
Yeah, that's where you gonna pop
out. We're gonna go from there.
Get the updated highlight reel. You gotta get them on the ground.
Something updated. They showing the high school busy.
Bro, this is what I be trying to tell y'all too. People know. Like, I be hearing folks be complaining, we only getting these clips from yeah. Bro, people know that what y'all want. It's an opportunity. It is beneficial for my dog to get on the court and get some film up for folks. It just ain't, it's not there because folks is like, I don't want y'all to have it. My dog know that y'all waiting on him to hoop. My dog know that the video people, everybody, the scouts and all of that stuff know that they want to see him hoop. He ain't hooped since China or JBA League and all of that stuff. Or the last game that we seen Liangelo hooping was I want to say Bulgaria, Romania, and he was hooping. I was there. And so, but he knows, and I think that that's important that folks got to realize, like, my dog is out here hooping. Now, he might not be just on the Instagram out laying out the plans and all of that stuff for everybody day in and day out, but trust and believe, my dog is out here trying to get to the bag. Now, I got two more clips that I wanted to look at and talk about, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
I think so. Sick.
Wanted to ask you, when you was hooping overseas, how was that like? Because I got plenty of friends overseas. It's like mixed feedback.
Like, changed my game for real.
Is that better?
Yeah, for better though. Because over there I had to like really like man up, I guess. Because I was 18 and shit when I first went, and everybody on the team 27.
Damn.
I was coming off the bench. I started though.
That's competitive.
They was playing like aggressive and shit. I'm the only American on the team and shit. They fouling.
That's good for you though.
I believe it was him in Bristol, Kerwin Bristol. So he was not the only American, but I guess he was Trinidadian. But I think he lived here in the United States. So I think that to me, that's another clutch moment in this interview, because you see him talk about that growth, right? So a lot of folks talk about the decision making and whether or not it was a good idea to go over there. Woo, woo, woo. And when we hear folks talk about LaMelo, they credit, he's been a pro and doing all of this stuff. And we hear here who Liangelo actually had more success in Lithuania than LaMelo did, as he talks about coming off the bench and then moving into the starting lineup. And we see him here saying, yo, that is what changed my game, right? And I think when I always talk about the Ball brothers and like the trajectory of their games, their like pathways to where they at now, I look at the time in high school as like the foundation. It's like fast, full speed practice, right? Because the style that they were playing in high school was one that I believe it's like the only time you're going to play this style is here, right? And to me, it's just like sometimes in practice, you do these certain drills that mimic game situations, but like you're never going to be in this situation, right? In football, we should do in Oklahoma, where you lay on your back, they blow the whistle, you get up, and then you run and smash somebody. You're never going to hopefully be in a situation, especially as a ball carrier, where you land on your back, you get up, get the ball, and smash. However, that drill simulates something and puts something and gives you like some confidence and some ability, and it, y'all get what I'm saying. The drill does something for you that you would never get if you just were scrimmaging and doing things the correct or like the traditional way. So I do believe that style that they played unlock certain things that would not have been unlocked if they would have just came down, ran sets, and did all of that stuff like traditional basketball does. Then you take that and you go to Lithuania, you go to these other different situations, and you start to slow the game down and you implement the tactics that you learned from playing the game at a very high speed. And then you add that with, now I'm a bit more mature, folks are being more physical, I have to be more intentional with my movements and all of this stuff, and then you see elevation of game. This is why I've been saying for a long time, I feel like it's inevitable that Liangelo, given the opportunity, will be successful in the NBA, because if he can still harken back to that style that has made his brothers successful and be able to display those skill sets that he learned in a more chilled environment, it's a W for him, and that's what's up.
I know how to adapt to shit quick. So.
You get exposed to a lot of different shit, and then like you said, you always stood out wherever you've been at.
You get exposed to a lot of different things quick. I know how to adapt to things. That's what I'm telling you. The style that they played in Chino was fast. You had to be quick. You had to adapt. You had to make moves on the run. You had to think fast. That is when people credit and they talk highly about LaMelo and Lonzo's game, it's like, yo, how did he even see that? Who tells you how to? You just start to pull things. Your natural instincts are become stronger and more prevalent when you hooping, and that's what he talking about.
So just different levels of shit. Like you always stood out wherever you've been at. You know what I mean? So just different levels of shit. Like that's definitely dope.
You always stood out wherever you've been at. That's one of the things that I always say too. This is how you can tell when or somebody at least deserves an opportunity, or like somebody is going to like it's not surprising. If LaMelo plays in Chino Hills and is a standout player, boom. And LaMelo goes to the JBA and is a super standout player, or LaMelo goes to Lithuania and then plays in the big baller brand games and is a standout, and LaMelo goes to Spire as a standout, he goes to the NBL and is a standout. It's not hard to believe that he might be a standout in any situation. In the Drew League and all of these, if you go to the NBA, you might be a standout there as well. For a lot of these guys, right, you have dudes who make it to the NBA and are talented players and play well, but where they stand out is in specific areas, right? And so this is what I'm saying. If you're a guy who in high school you're an excellent rebounder, in college you're an excellent rebounder, people when they draft you, they expect you to be an excellent rebounder in the NBA, right? They don't expect you to then get to the NBA and then become a superstar scorer. So that's what I'm saying, when you stand out. So I understand that the NBA is full of guys who are all standouts, right? Who don't raise to the level of superstardom, all NBA caliber players. However, what I'm saying is that if you make it to the NBA, it's because you're probably a standout in a specific area, and folks expect that to translate to the next level. Jello has been a standout scorer on every level that he has played. Underratedly, like both his other brothers, on the defensive end has been a standout as well. The steals, the pass deflections. My dog presses the entire game. One of the biggest kudos that I always give to Jello is that if you go back and you watch the Chino footage, the guy who is on the ball stopping it from coming up the court is most of the time Jello. The dude who has to have the best lateral movement because he is on the point guard trying to bring it up is most of the time Jello. When we played in the JBA USA and they were overseas, that was his role. On a ankle that was as big as this Yeti here. On an ankle that was fatter than this snowball microphone. On a ankle that was thicker than this Bluetooth speaker. And was still dominating with the lateral movement and being able to hold people in pickpockets and get steals. Alright, so now let's get to this last clip that I got saved here for y'all, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
I'm getting 30 today. I said, let's see it, dog. We're gonna see.
That's family, man. That's crazy. I know y'all been going at it for a long time, right?
Always.
So, who do you think, in your opinion, who's the best brother in your eyes?
No, me.
For you, for sure, right?
We play one-on-one.
This is when we start talking body language. There is zero signs of deception with that answer. That's a fact in his head. Oh, me? Let's bring it back.
Who's the best brother in your eyes?
No, me.
For you, for sure.
And this is certain things I can tell you, all right? So now look, if you slow, and it's hard because it's choppy because we're playing it back here, but
in
look,
your opinion, who's the...
First thing you can do when somebody is answering your question, a lot of times we eye contact, right? It's something that folks always look for, right? It's like, if somebody's telling me the truth then or lying to me, they looking away and they doing this. A lot of times though, when people are answering questions, there's a recall that has to happen, right? So you ask a question and they look away from you as they recall, hear, process, and then come back to then answer questions. Now, where the deception comes in and the misconception about eye contact is, a lot of times when somebody's lying to you, they are staring you down because they're trying to gauge your reaction to see if you honestly believe what they're saying. So that's the misconception. Is a lot of times people think that if people looking away and all of this stuff that they being deceptive, which is sometimes the case, but a lot of times a good liar will be looking at you to see if you believe what they're saying because they're trying to figure out if they need to continue that lie or if they straight right there. But if you look here, there's initial look away and then there was a straight up confidence boost, the body, the posture and everything. Of course, me.
So who's the best brother in your eyes?
No, me.
For you, for sure, right?
We play one-on-one. We played that before.
So like that. He's saying, oh, it's me. And then as he describes why he's the best brother, you see the hand movements and signifiers that people do when they in their bag and talking truth. And then you start to see, I'm looking around at the times we play one-on-one and how I did that. Like all of that is signs that, yo, my dog really is telling you the facts here.
Your eyes.
No, me.
For you, for sure, right?
We play one-on-one. We played that before. I be winning those.
Yeah, you be winning those.
Closed doors on.
I feel it.
Closed doors though. And so a lot of times what I'm saying to you is, so I wrap it up with, what I mean is that folks who are typically telling the truth, especially about things that like this, it's whatever, like they don't have to look at you to get confirmation from you on whether or not you believe them, because they just know that they're telling the truth. So it's nothing for me to be like thinking and doing all of this and saying what I'm saying and know that you gotta believe me because it is real, you feel me? But so that's what I mean by that. So a lot of times, if somebody is being deceptive, they have to keep their eyes on you to see if you are telling the truth or not.
You be bullying them?
Yeah, I'm too big, but yeah, like they got game though.
Now,
You be bullying them?
Yeah, I'm too big.
now we start to get here. I'm too big, bro. And you start doing all of this. Now that's where we like might be embellishing a little bit.
But yeah, like they got game though. But
I know it.
one-on-ones, I'm there with it.
I feel.
Look, and all right, I'm not gonna go too deep in this.
But yeah, like they got game though. But
I know it.
one-on-ones, I'm there with it.
I feel. I respect it. That's good, man. Cause I got threes.
I don't know. I'll be honest with y'all. My dog all over. But all right, man. That's what I got for y'all today. It's your main man, AB the Hero, man. I appreciate y'all subbing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, staying in tune with the boy. You know what I'm saying? We got more content coming. Some recaps I owe y'all. Some other things, the rookie ladder and all of that stuff. Stay tuned. It's your main man, AB the Hero. We out.
No, not peace. +1 triple B's. We out.